Hello guys, welcome to a new video on my channel. The current situation keeps all of us in suspense. You know, the coronavirus is spreaded all over the world. A lot of us have to stay at home. For me, not much is changing because I'm a very introverted person and I'm used to stay at home most of the time, and I also try to avoid social contacts as much as possible. So it's pretty much as it was before. I'm still going to work regularly, so I still am quite tight on free time for my projects, but I still try to get as much done as possible. And maybe in the next days or weeks this will also change and I have to do, for example, home office or even get some free time. I'm not sure. In 2 weeks, when there's Easter, I will also have 2 weeks off, which I will spend at home because, of course, I can't go anywhere at the moment. So I will have a lot of time for my projects, and I'm pretty stoked to do a lot in this time. So today I want to work on the first little project based on those Up2Stream modules from Arylic, which I made a little review video last month. So what you can see here is the controller of my DIY 2.1 Soundsystem, which has a 10-inch subwoofer, which is driven actively with a Class D amplifier that can put out up to 600 watts, but I'm using it with a switch mode supply, which only has 320 watts, which is still more than enough. So this is quite a beast, and I'm not able to fully use it here in my apartment because I have a family which lives below me, so I can't turn the volume up to the max. But I wanted to have some decent power just in case. So that's what my 2.1 system is capable of. It has 2 satellite speakers, which are pretty nice bookshelf speakers. You have seen them in my review video in the Up2Stream. So the controller we have here has a soft switch here with a power indicator LED, and when I press it, it will turn on a relay that switches on the main power supply in the subwoofer. And inside this thing I also have a audio preamplifier, which is controlled by these knobs. I have volume, I have highs, mids and bass. So I can control everything here on the desk of my computer. And also I wanted to have a little Bluetooth module inside here. So I have this switch where I can switch between the main input, which is a RCA input on the back here, which is a bit loose. I have to find a better way to mount it here. So this is connected to my computer or my audio interface, and when I flick this switch I would enable my internal Bluetooth module, and then I could stream music, for example, from my smartphone when I use this system outside for a party or something. The problem is the Bluetooth module I put inside here was from IC Station, a very cheap and simple audio module. But the IC which was on this module went very hot very quickly, and this was a bit too dangerous for me, so I disconnected the power. But now I have these very neat modules from Arylic, and I thought one of them would fit perfectly inside my controller, doing what the Bluetooth module inside can't do. I would prefer to use the Up2Stream Pro, which I have here, because it not only has the Bluetooth which I need, it also has several other nice inputs, like for example the Ethernet or an USB or line in. So I would like to put this inside here. I might have to do it here in the front of my controller, so all these inputs would be here in the front, just because the preamplifier module is here in the back. So I wouldn't have the space to put this module in the back, so I have to use it in the front. If I have enough space for this, I will put this inside. If not, I can use the Up2Stream Mini, which still has the Wi-Fi capabilities, which are also nice. So this is my alternative. If this one does not fit, I will use this. So Then let's disassemble this and look if we can fit this board inside, shall we? Alright, first step is opening the housing. On the bottom there's a little wooden plate which is screwed with 4 screws in the 3D printed top part. And here I have to remove the knobs so I can remove the potentiometers because they are soldered via short wires directly to the preamp. So I have to remove them to open the case, which is quite easy because I just have to unscrew these things there, then I can put them out. And here you can see the Bluetooth module, which is hot glued to the plate. It's a very effective and easy way to do it. I was too lazy to do it with screws and it doesn't have screw holes anyways, so that was the only way to do it. And it's also quite easy to remove. It sticks quite well on wood, but it's also still possible to remove it with some screwdrivers. And here I unbox the Up2Stream Pro V2 and you can see here it does not fit. And I measured it out. There was around 1 centimeter missing, but that's not a huge issue. If you look close here, you can see that the amplifier does have some space behind it. So I decided to just move it backwards. I unscrewed it and checked if it would fit and it looked very good. So here, as a next step, before I forget it, I replaced the screw for the RCA plugs. I used a longer screw now, which was a bit harder to put in, but it worked and now it's very stable. Much better than before. So here I remove the spacers for the preamp and measure out the new locations for the screws. And here I put the holes in with my battery powered drill thingy here. I use a wooden stick on the bottom to make sure that I won't drill any holes in my new table. That would be pretty awful. So, and now I screw the spacers back in. Yeah, and the board itself as well. And so far this worked very well, and now I have more space, but I forgot something. The 3D printed housing has 3 millimeters thickness at the front, which I didn't consider. So that's a little problem, but I thought if I slide the amplifier, the Up2Stream board a little below the preamp, it should fit. So that's what I tried here, and I measured it out and it looks very good. So now I figure out the holes where I have to drill them, and I use my knife here because I don't have a pencil that fits through the hole. And then I drilled the holes, and now I had to change the location of the spare wires I have lying around there. So I had to remove the big connector here. So I removed all the wires out of it, and now I could move all the wires to the left where I have some space. I could have done that before I mounted the board again, but I just forgot it. And now, as you can see, when I slide the board in there, I have the space that I need for the top part to reassemble later. I used those washers as little spacers. That is not really necessary because wood is a quite good isolator, but I just wanted to get sure that I won't get any shorts. So here I marked the holes I had to make for all the connectors, like the Ethernet and USB port. And then I used a saw and just cut in it, and then I use some thick pliers and move them up and down, and then I could remove the plastic because it is 3D printed and it has several layers. That's quite easy. You just have to break one of those layers, and that's quite easy. So last step is drilling another hole for a second LED, because I need one LED that indicates the status of the Wi-Fi signal and connection, and the other one is for the inputs. It has 3 different colors for USB, line in, and Bluetooth. So I used an RGB LED in this case. One problem that I did not realize just now was that the Arylic board has a common anode configuration. So there's 1 plus pin and 3 minus pins for the colors, and the LED I have is the other way around. It's common cathode, so it has a common minus and different plus wires. So when I plugged this in later, I found out that it didn't work, but it's not a big issue at the moment. I decided then just using the blue color for the Bluetooth, because Bluetooth is the main thing that I needed, as I said before, because I already wanted to have a Bluetooth module inside, which was not good. So that's an indicator that I need. And the other LED will still show the Wi-Fi signal. And the other 2 colors aren't used just yet, but I will replace this LED in the future, so I have all colors available. So now I plug this in and use my USB 5-volt adapter to just try the LEDs if they work. And as you can see, it blinks just like on the board, so this works. With the remote control, I could also change to Bluetooth, so I could see that this color was working as well. So after everything worked well, I used my heat gun to shrink things. Yeah, then I removed the rest of the connector of the previous Bluetooth module. So this is the audio signal cable. I have to make the wires a bit longer. Then I soldered them to one of the connectors that was delivered with the board, as you can see there on the left. So I cut this, as you can see here, and soldered it to the wires. Also with some shrink wire, or what's it called? Yeah, and then I plugged it in, and so that was almost everything. Last thing to do is the power. I can't use the USB port because it collides with the housing, so I used those screw terminals and soldered them to the power that comes from the subwoofer. And here I stick the antennas to the top of the housing. You can see how they work. They are pretty much like PCB antennas. So yeah, quite simple, but they have a good range, as I've seen, so that's okay. So now I use some hot glue to fix the wires I don't need, and also the second LED, and that's the result. Sorry, it's a bit unsharp, but well, that's now what it looks inside. And now I reassemble the potentiometers and put the caps back on, and then we are ready for a little demonstration. So here you can see the controller in all its glory. At the front we have now some cutouts for the input connectors, which is Ethernet, USB, and 2 jacks for audio input and output. And the top has now one more LED. And now at the back of the subwoofer I switch on the main power supply. So now we get 5 volts to this controller, and you can see the Arylic board is now booting. And now I also switch on the main power supply for the amp and flick the switch down for the Arylic board, and now the slow blinking means that it's now trying to connect to my Wi-Fi, and now it's permanently on, so the connection is there, and I can now use the Up2Stream app or Spotify to stream some music. So here on the bottom you can see Bureau, which is the name of the Arylic module, and we play some music here. I can also fast forward or backward, which is very quick, and pause it of course. And now I can switch to Bluetooth using the Up2Stream app, and now you see the other LED is on now. It's blinking, so it's trying to connect to my smartphone, which is done now, and I can also play music using Bluetooth now. Here you can see the connection is over Bluetooth. Last but not least, I try the RCA inputs. So I flick the switch again, have Spotify running on my computer with another song, and as you can hear, it works as well. Now I switch back to the Arylic board using Bluetooth just to show how quick it works. And something that's really cool is when in Spotify I select the Bureau again, you have seen this on the LEDs that it will automatically switch over to the Wi-Fi mode and play music from there. And now I switch it off. So that's all about that. My little project took about 1 day. That's why I'm looking different, because it's the next day, it's Sunday now. I was just too tired yesterday to finish the video, so I do it today. Yeah, as you have seen, I've opened the case of my controller, and I had to move the amplifier board a bit to the back, which was not a big deal, but still took a little time. And then I had the space I needed to insert the Up2Stream Pro V2 board inside. And then I made some holes on the front, so I could access all the inputs, like the USB and the audio jacks and also the Ethernet port. And then I soldered the RGB LED on it. That's one of the things that I still want to improve in the future. I want to use the right RGB LED. For now I'm fine with just showing the Bluetooth mode, but in the future I want to show all 3 modes, of course. The second thing I would like to improve is 2 buttons. One of them should be the reset button for the Wi-Fi, so I can reset the Wi-Fi mode and connect it to a new Wi-Fi if I want to, because the sound system should be mobile, as I said. That's why I inserted the board. So I want to be able to connect to others' Wi-Fi networks if I need to, and for that I need to reset it. If I want to do it now, I have to open the case again and press on this little reset button behind the, I think the output jack. But in the future I want an external button so I can do it directly. And I need a second button to switch between the input modes, because I was a little confused when I powered the board up to test it the first time after it was inside the case. I had a green LED blinking and I thought it was a fault of the hardware because of my wrong wiring of the LEDs, but it turned out that this was not the issue. The problem was that it was in the audio input mode, the analog input mode, and not on the Wi-Fi mode, which I didn't know. I thought when you power it up, it would initially go into the Wi-Fi mode first and try to connect to a router, but that's not right. If you turn it off and you have it, like for example in USB mode, and you turn it on again, then it will stay in the USB. So after using the remote control to change to the Wi-Fi mode, the right LED was finally blinking and doing what it should. So I'd like to have a button to switch between the modes if I need to. Of course, it's not super necessary because I've seen that the board will still connect to the Wi-Fi no matter what input mode you are in. And after connection was succeeded, you can use the 4Stream app to switch between the inputs as well. But it would be handy maybe in the future to have this button. So those three things, the two buttons and the LED, should be changed in the future, but for now I'm fine. You have seen the little demonstration. Everything works flawlessly, I would say. I can play, for example, Spotify music via Wi-Fi using my phone. That's working very good. And also I can use the Bluetooth input if I switch it with either the remote control or my smartphone in the 4Stream app. And then I can stream my music from my smartphone using Bluetooth, which also works. And I can flick the switch to enable the regular RCA input, which I have on my case, to plug it into my computer and get the music from there as well. What I like a lot about this is that when I change any setting, I don't have strange sounds or noises. So that's definitely a positive thing. So I'm really happy with the result. Now my sound system is more or less finished. So I'm very happy with the result, and I think it should stay as it is now, and I can concentrate on my other projects for now. So the next video that's coming up is either a little update on my thermostat project, because I made some progress with it. I integrated the thread network to my thermostat, and I also started doing the routines to connect to it and stuff. So maybe I will make a little video of this next week, or I will continue with the thread tutorial, which I announced last time about the co-op networking. Please subscribe to my channel so you don't miss that, and enable the bell, and give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and we will see you next time. And of course, stay healthy. Bye.